everyone, Tracy here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. So we're going back to school and we've already had a couple kiddos coming in sick. And so how do you help your kids naturally? One of the things that was kind of interesting is my one patient was not feeling well. She wound up getting a little bit of a cold from her friend, and mom brought her in, and we had done quantum nutrition testing on her, found out that it was a little bit of bacteria, a little bit of viral, but mostly it was actually chemicals. And yeah, there was heavy chemicals that were actually affecting her immune system. And so we started her on, she was muscle testing really well for homeopathic supplement, also some herbs to help with the immune system. So we started her on that right away. And within 24 hours, she was up playing and jumping and running around. And I just had actually a follow-up appointment with her today. So this happened to be on Saturday. By Sunday, she was all better. We did a follow-up appointment and she was running around the office and just having a great time. And she was telling me that her friend was still sick. And then her mom had mentioned that, her friend's mom had started giving her, like like the regular cough syrup that you get over the counter and things like that. And one of the bad things is if you actually look at the back of the label, there's a lot of heavy chemicals and toxins that are just not healthy, including like artificial dyes, artificial coloring, which has been linked to cancer and a whole bunch of other things. So what are some things that you can do to naturally support your kid if they do happen to get sick? And what are some healthier alternatives? So a couple different things. So Forces of Nature has a cold and cough or cold and flu, which helps with, it's lemon flavored, helps the immune system, has clean ingredients. I really like Highlands Kids. They have a cold and cough combo pack, which is natural. Boiron, you can find this, typically over at like Whole Foods, but Boiron, I really like. They have Chestol for Kids, which is a homeopathic, and they're like little tiny pellets, and they're actually really nice flavored, easy for kids to take. So Boiron is a really good, and that's spelled Bioron. So Boiron. And then Zarbee's is another really good one. So Zarbee's has cough syrup, naturally cough syrup, and it's sweetened with agave, still better than sugar and artificial dyes and colors. It has things like zinc, organic agave to soothe coughs. It's good for dry throats and irritations, naturally grape flavored. Some other ingredients listed on Zarbee's, which is hang on, why? So it has, let's see. Oh, why did I think that? I cannot, I'm like trying to read the label on it, and apparently I can't read it. Let's see. Why? I know it has zinc. It's got agave. It's natural, grape flavored. Let's see. There were some other really good things on here too. And I cannot read it for the life of me. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, and then it's basically the organic agave helps with the thing, and then the zinc also helps with the immune system. So it has some natural things in there to help the cough and calm the throat. Let's see. There are some other things that we use in the office, such as Para 3, which can be a little bit harsh. Like the taste is actually a little bit tougher for some kids. She does a great job. I usually tell parents to sneak this in with like juices or sometimes a smoothie. That can help out a lot. So Para 3 from Cellcore, she was taking, let's see, Is Boost from Cellcore, which also really helps out a lot. Homeopathics included Medicord from Energetics and Lymphotone 1, which supports your lymphatic system. And we know that lymph nodes is part of the immune system. So it really helped her get over being sick very quickly. And she was up and running the next day with no downtime, really, and doing much better while her friend is still sick. And yeah, so muscle testing can be really, really great to help figure out what the body needs, especially when you're acutely sick. People think that it's just for like long-term issues, such as, parasite cleanses and candida cleanses, but you can actually use muscle testing for, acute illnesses too. Not to say that you, again, don't want to be cautious and monitor things, and monitor symptoms to make sure that they're moving. But that would be like any type of, whether you go allopathic medicine or holistic medicine, you want to make sure that the patient is always moving in the right direction. Otherwise, you might have to change your plan of attack, so to speak. Just like in Western medicine, if an antibiotic isn't working, we would prescribe another antibiotic. The problem is that you run into things like killing off good bacteria within the gut. When you do antibiotics, you also run the risk of becoming drug sensitivity, to these medications. Also, if you constantly are switching antibiotics or adding antibiotics, then the body becomes kind of like, it doesn't respond to the antibiotics as much. So you wind up with these superbugs and all these other things. And there's just a lot of risks and side effects, to the medications. The one thing that I like about homeopathic and using herbs is you don't kill off the bad bacteria. You don't in the gut. You wind up supporting the immune system. The chances of having an adverse reaction to these when done properly are very, very, very minimal compared to medications. So my first go-to is always to use natural supplements first as your first line of defense, and then switch to medications if needed. But again, in any situation, you're going to be monitoring your patient. You're going to be monitoring and making sure that things are moving in the right direction. And when that's done properly, a lot of times homeopathic herbal remedies can be a great way to support the immune system, to stop infection right in their tracks. And I've seen it over and over again, and time again, without the use of antibiotics. But typically it has to be done you have to monitor the patient again, but can be a great way to help support the immune system. If that is something that you are possibly interested in to help your kiddos naturally and want to learn a little bit more about muscle testing and how it can be used to help you and your kids get over a flu cold season, so that way you're not missing school, work, or whatever it may be, or just life in general, give us a call. Schedule a free 10-minute discovery phone call, 708-694-4092.